sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.
All right, so get ready for this one, because today we're going to be diving into the world of, well, unexpected celebrity pairings.
Oh, yeah.
You guys sent in this Hindustan Times article about Vanessa Trump and Tiger Woods. And yeah, honestly, it's one of those headlines where you just stop and say, wait a minute, what?
For sure.
Yeah. So we're going to be taking a deep dive into this article and trying to sort of unpack what's going on here.
It is a fascinating story.
Yeah. I mean, you've got the political connections because of, Vanessa Trump's ex-husband.
Right.
And then you've got like the huge sports icon, Tiger Woods.
Exactly.
It's not your typical Hollywood pairing.
No, not at all.
So one of the things I found really interesting was the reaction from Donald Trump Jr. himself.
Yeah.
The Hindustan Times article mentions that when he was asked about the news, his response was just, cool.
Oh, wow.
I know. Just one word.
So interesting.
Yeah. And it's that carefully crafted persona that public figures often project, right? Like, you have to remember, for someone like Donald Trump Jr., every public statement is strategic.
Right.
It's about shaping how people see him, especially in a situation like this.
Absolutely.
But I mean, cool just seems so nonchalant.
Yeah.
Especially considering they have 5 kids together.
Right. Right.
Is he really that unfazed, or is this all just like a PR move?
Well, it's really hard to say for sure.
Yeah.
But I think we can look at how public figures, manage their image these days.
Right.
They have PR teams, social media strategies, all working to control the narrative.
Absolutely.
So this cool response, it could be a way of just downplaying the situation, maybe even appearing unbothered by it.
Yeah, it makes you think about like the behind-the-scenes complexities too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, how do you navigate co-parenting in the middle of this new, very public relationship?
Yeah.
It's not exactly your average family dynamic.
No, not at all.
And then, of course, you've got the media scrutiny that comes along with it.
Exactly.
It's not just dealing with the usual challenges of co-parenting, but also having every move analyzed and dissected by the public.
Oh, for sure.
Especially with someone as high profile as Tiger Woods involved.
Right.
Yeah. And let's not forget the political backdrop here either.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're talking about Vanessa Trump's ex-husband,
Yeah.
Donald Trump Jr.
Huge political figure.
Exactly. This isn't just some random celebrity relationship.
No.
It's potentially a political story, too.
Absolutely. And it's a perfect example of how, personal lives and public image just get so intertwined,
Yeah.
especially when you have these connections to prominent political figures.
Right.
Their actions, their relationships, it all becomes part of the public conversation.
Yeah. And you can bet the media is going to be watching this closely.
Oh, yeah.
Analyzing every interaction, every public appearance.
Of course.
Especially with Tiger Woods' past.
Yeah.
And let's just say he's no stranger to media scrutiny when it comes to his personal life.
That's right. His career has been marked by both incredible success,
Oh, yeah?
but also very public personal struggles.
So how will this new relationship play into that narrative?
It's a good question.
I mean, we're all kind of fascinated by these glimpses into the lives of celebrities.
Absolutely.
It's like we're getting this peek behind the curtain of fame and fortune.
Yeah, yeah.
And this situation in particular is just so captivating because it touches on so many different aspects.
Yeah.
Relationships, family, politics, sports, public image, like it's all kind of interwoven.
It really is.
And it just makes you realize how much we as a society are drawn to these stories, these glimpses into lives that seem so different from our own.
Yeah, it's that parasocial relationship that we develop with public figures.
Right.
We feel like we know them even though we don't, and we become so invested in their lives, their dramas, their successes, their failures.
Which brings us back to this specific couple, Vanessa Trump and Tiger Woods.
Right.
I mean, this Hindustan Times article that we've been talking about, it's really just the tip of the iceberg.
I think so, too.
We're going to continue to see this story play out in the media, and it will be interesting to see how it impacts both of their public images.
Especially considering how carefully they've each cultivated those images over the years.
Oh, and speaking of public image, I don't know if you caught this part in the article, but they mentioned Tiger Woods' ruptured Achilles tendon.
Oh, really?
I know, talk about a curveball.
Wow.
One minute we're dissecting this relationship, the next we're talking about a sports injury.
It is a fascinating juxtaposition.
Yeah, but it just highlights how even something as personal as a sports injury becomes part of the public narrative when you're a figure like Tiger Woods.
Oh, absolutely.
It's almost like these separate worlds, sports, celebrity relationships, politics.
Right.
They're all colliding. And we're right here in the middle of it, trying to make sense of it all.
And that's what makes these depth dives so interesting, isn't it?
For sure.
We get to unpack these complex situations, look at all the different angles,
Yeah.
and maybe even learn a little something about ourselves along the way.
I agree with that.
Yeah, it is a reminder that even in this digital age, when it feels like everything is so instant and accessible, there's always more beneath the surface.
Right.
And public image is a carefully constructed thing, especially for someone like Tiger Woods.
Yeah, you're right. It's not just about winning tournaments. His whole brand is built on this image of resilience, of coming back from setbacks.
Exactly.
But now this relationship, I feel like this adds a whole new dimension to that whole narrative.
Exactly. And that's where this gets really interesting.
Yeah.
How will this relationship be perceived? Will it be seen as just another chapter in his comeback story, a sign of personal growth? Or will it kind of reignite those past controversies and potentially damage his brand?
That is the question, and it really speaks to the power of perception.
It does.
It's not just about what happens, it's about how it's framed, how it's presented to the public, and ultimately how they choose to interpret it.
Right, and that's where the media plays such a huge role. The way this story is covered, the narratives that emerge, they all contribute to shaping public opinion.
It makes you wonder how much control these celebrities actually have over their own narratives.
Right.
It's like they're walking this tightrope constantly,
Yeah.
trying to maintain a certain image while also living their lives.
It's a very delicate balance.
Yeah.
And it's something that I think they're very acutely aware of.
Yeah.
Every action, every relationship, it all becomes part of their public persona, whether they like it or not.
And for someone like Tiger Woods, who has already been through so much public scrutiny,
Right.
this new relationship, I think, just adds another layer of complexity to that whole equation.
Absolutely. And it raises questions about forgiveness, redemption,
Yeah.
the public's willingness to accept change.
Well, and think back to when he faced those personal challenges a while back. I mean, the media frenzy was relentless.
Oh, it was.
It really seemed like his career was over at that point.
Yeah, but he managed to kind of rebuild his image, win more championships, secure endorsements. I mean, it really was a remarkable comeback.
Yeah, it was. And it speaks to our fascination with these narratives of, falling from grace and rising again.
Yeah,
We're drawn to these stories of redemption, of overcoming adversity.
absolutely.
But it also makes you wonder, how much do those past transgressions linger? Will this new relationship be seen through the lens of those previous scandals? Or can he truly move forward with like a clean slate?
That's the question, and it's one that I think will play out in the media and in public discourse.
For sure.
It'll be interesting to see how different outlets frame this story, what narratives they choose to focus on.
Yeah, it's a reminder that even with all of the carefully crafted PR strategies in place,
Right.
there's still a certain element of unpredictability when it comes to public image.
Absolutely. You can try to control the narrative, but ultimately the public is going to form their own opinions.
Right.
Based on their own perceptions and biases.
So let's bring it back to our listener for a second.
Yeah.
Why should they care about this seemingly superficial celebrity news? What's the takeaway for them?
Well, I don't think it's just about gossip.
Right.
It's a chance for us to reflect on our own fascination with celebrity culture.
Okay.
Why are we so drawn to these stories? What does it say about our values, about our priorities?
It's also a reminder that even those who seem to have it all, the fame, the fortune, the success, they're still grappling with the same human challenges that we all face.
They are.
Relationships, family, public perception.
Right. And ultimately, it's a case study in how the media, public image, and personal lives intersect in this digital age that we live in.
Yeah.
It prompts us to kind of think critically about the information we're consuming and how we form our own opinions.
It's easy to get caught up in the surface level drama, but there's always a deeper story waiting to be explored. Okay, so we've spent some time talking about this new couple, Vanessa Trump and Tiger Woods. We've talked about her ex-husband, Donald Trump Jr., and just the media frenzy that surrounds all of this.
Yeah.
What do you think really stands out to you about this whole situation?
I think one of the most compelling things about this story is how it really forces us to confront our own assumptions and biases.
Okay.
We see these public figures, these people who seem to have these perfect lives,
Right.
and it's easy to forget that they're just human beings
Yeah.
navigating the same, complexities that we all face.
Yeah. It's like we're looking through a window into this world that's both familiar and completely foreign at the same time.
Right, and that's where I think critical thinking comes in.
Yeah.
We can't just passively consume the information that we're given.
Right.
We have to question the narratives that are being presented, consider the motivations behind people's actions, and really acknowledge our own preconceived notions.
It's a good reminder that there's always more to the story than what we see on the surface.
Absolutely.
Whether we're talking about a celebrity relationship,
Right.
or a political scandal, or even just a news article,
Yeah.
it's so important to dig deeper and look for those hidden layers of meaning.
Because that's where you find the real insights.
Yeah.
The connections that help us understand not just the specific situation,
Right.
but also the larger forces that are at play.
Absolutely. So as this story with Vanessa Trump and Tiger Woods continues to unfold, what is something you think our listeners should keep in mind? What's the big takeaway here?
I think the most important takeaway is to just be really mindful of the power of perception.
Okay.
And how it shapes our understanding of the world. And we see this play out constantly. It's not just in celebrity news,
Right.
but in politics, social issues, even in our own personal interactions.
It's a good reminder that we are all part of this really intricate web of narratives, and our perceptions are constantly being shaped by the information that we consume and the stories that we tell ourselves.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so important to cultivate those critical thinking skills, to be aware of our own biases, and to approach every story with a healthy dose of skepticism and a lot of curiosity.
Because in the end, it's not just about knowing the facts, it's about understanding the context, the motivations, all those little nuances that make up the bigger picture.
Right. So as you follow this story,
Yeah.
and as you encounter other news and events that capture your attention, just remember to ask yourself, what's the deeper story here? What am I not seeing? And how might my own perceptions be influencing my understanding of this?
Well, it has been such a fascinating deep dive with you today.
Yeah, it's been fun.
We really appreciate you joining us on this journey of exploration. And remember to keep sending us those intriguing articles and stories, because we love uncovering these hidden layers and sharing those insights with you.
Yeah, keep them coming.
Until next time.
Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We'll have a ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.